The night it all began, I wasn't scrolling through Instagram or mindlessly flipping channels. I was at the kitchen table, staring at the credit card statement Olivia had accidentally left open on her laptop. At first glance, nothing seemed unusual: groceries, coffee runs, a boutique purchase. Then, near the bottom, something caught my eye: a charge from a luxury rooftop bar downtown. I frowned. Olivia never mentioned going there. We'd talked about trying it out someday, but the timing always seemed wrong. Too busy, too expensive, too crowded. So why was it on her statement? I leaned back, trying to rationalize it. Maybe she'd gone with friends, or had a work event she forgot to tell me about. But a nagging feeling kept pulling at me. That's when I opened Instagram. Not my account, hers. She'd logged in on my phone weeks ago to show me something and never logged out. It didn't take long to find the post: a picture of her drink at the same rooftop bar. The caption read, "The view is even better in good company, cityscape at us cocktailed last night." I stared at the photo, my mind racing. The glass was a martini, and next to it, barely in frame, was another drink: whiskey on the rocks. That night, Olivia came home late, her excuse rehearsed. "Sorry, babe," she said, kicking off her shoes. "Work ran late, and I grabbed a drink with Sarah to unwind." "Sarah?" I asked, keeping my tone casual. "Yeah," she said, not meeting my eyes. "She's been stressed lately, so I thought it'd be good to catch up." I nodded, pretending to believe her, but something inside me shifted. Olivia wasn't just lying. She was confident I'd never question her. That confidence was her first mistake. Over the next few weeks, I paid closer attention. Olivia was meticulous, but even she wasn't perfect. A picture of her morning coffee showed 2 cups, though she always insisted she drank alone at the cafe. A boomerang video of clinking glasses featured hands, one hers, the other larger, masculine, with a distinctive silver ring. I didn't confront her right away. Instead, I cataloged the posts, connecting the dots she didn't realize she'd left behind. The picture at the rooftop bar, the hands clinking glasses, the second coffee cup. A pattern began to emerge, and it all pointed to one thing: Olivia wasn't just hiding something, she was hiding someone. After weeks of piecing together her Instagram posts, I felt like a detective chasing a trail only I could see. Olivia didn't realize how much she was giving away: tiny details that seemed meaningless to anyone else but painted a damning picture when viewed together. Her stories became my evidence. One Friday night, she claimed she had a girls' night with her friends, yet her post told a different story. It was a quick video of a live band performing at a downtown lounge, captioned, "Such a vibe tonight. Musical notes sparkles." The reflection in the mirror behind the band caught my attention: a couple sitting at the bar. I couldn't make out the man's face, but Olivia's white blouse was unmistakable, and she wasn't with any of her friends. I decided to track her movements the next time she went out. "I've got a late shift," she told me casually one evening, tying her hair into a ponytail. "Don't wait up, okay?" I nodded, pretending to buy her story. As soon as she left, I grabbed my keys and followed her at a distance. She didn't go to her office. Instead, she parked outside a cozy bistro on the other side of town. From my car, I watched as she walked in and greeted someone with a hug: a tall man wearing a blazer and the same distinctive silver ring I'd seen in her Instagram story. I stayed outside for nearly 2 hours, trying to decide what to do. Confronting her then and there felt too raw, too impulsive. Instead, I went home and did something I knew she wouldn't expect. Using her Instagram, I began to track her more methodically. I paid attention to her tagged locations, timestamps, and even the accounts she interacted with most. That's when I found his account. His name was Eric, and his profile was private, but his bio made my stomach churn. Living for the moment, one whiskey at a time. It matched the drink I'd seen in her rooftop bar photo. The next morning, I played it cool. "How was work last night?" I asked, sipping my coffee. "Long," she replied, scrolling through her phone. "I'm glad it's the weekend. Do you want to grab dinner tonight?" I asked, keeping my tone light. She hesitated, her eyes darting away. "I'm not sure. I might have plans with Sarah again. She's been going through a rough patch." Her lies were becoming routine, and I didn't know whether to be angry or impressed by her confidence. But I wasn't going to let her keep playing me. That evening, while Olivia was out with Sarah, I used Eric's tagged photos to uncover more. He wasn't shy about posting when he was out. A newly tagged photo showed him and Olivia at a rooftop bar, the same one from her story weeks ago. She wasn't hiding anymore. This wasn't just a fling. It was something deeper, and she didn't think I'd ever find out. But I had. By the time Olivia got home that evening, I was ready. I'd spent hours organizing every piece of evidence I'd gathered, screenshots of her Instagram stories, tagged locations, even the photo Eric had posted of them together. It was all laid out on the dining table, waiting for her. She walked through the door, humming softly, and froze when she saw me. "Liam?" she said, her voice hesitant. "What's all this?" I didn't respond right away. I just gestured to the table, letting the weight of her lies settle between us. "You tell me," I said finally, my tone cold. "Can a cheater still love their partner? Write in the comments." Her eyes flicked to the evidence, her own posts, the incriminating photos, the map of her movements. Her face went pale. "Liam, I can explain," she stammered. "Really?" I said, crossing my arms. "Because I'd love to hear how dinner with Sarah turned into cocktails with Eric. Or how you managed to forget telling me about all these work meetings while you were busy playing house with someone else." Her mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. "It's not what you think," she finally said, tears welling up in her eyes. I laughed bitterly. "Not what I think. Oh, Lydia, I've been tracking your affair through your own Instagram stories. Do you have any idea how ridiculous that is? You didn't even bother to hide it." Her tears spilled over, and she sank into a chair. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "Don't," I said sharply. "Don't give me that. You didn't trip and fall into his bed, Olivia. You made choices, repeatedly." She buried her face in her hands, her sobs muffled. "I was unhappy, Liam," she choked out. "I didn't know how to tell you. And this was your solution." I shot back. "Lying to me, sneaking around, spending time with someone else? You could have just left, Olivia. But instead, you decided to humiliate me." For a moment, the room was silent except for her quiet crying. I let it hang there, refusing to comfort her. She didn't deserve it. When she finally looked up, her face was blotchy, her voice trembling. "Please, Liam," she whispered. "I'm sorry. I'll end it. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this." I shook my head, a bitter laugh escaping me. "Fix this? Olivia, there's nothing left to fix. You didn't just cheat on me. You made me doubt everything we had. I don't even know who you are anymore." I stood and grabbed my coat. "Where are you going?" she asked, her voice panicked. "Out," I said simply. "I'll be back for my things tomorrow. You can keep the apartment. You've already destroyed everything else." Her sobs followed me as I walked out the door, but I didn't look back. In the weeks that followed, I focused on rebuilding my life, moving out of the apartment, reconnecting with friends, and finding clarity in the mess Olivia had left behind. She reached out a few times, begging for forgiveness, but I ignored her. There was no going back. One day, as I scrolled through Instagram, I saw that Olivia's profile had gone private. I smiled to myself. She'd finally learned to hide her tracks. But it was too late. Because this time, I was the one who had walked away.